Hello, I'm Barbara Labe with Century 21 Affiliated. I'm based in our Appleton, Wisconsin office. Thank you for joining me today on my podcast. I want to talk about 10 things you absolutely need to know about buying a home. The first one, use a trusted realtor. Keep in mind, usually the seller is paying the commission, not the buyer, unless the buyer comes into a buyer agency agreement with the real estate agent. Then in today's market where it is so tight, the buyer would end up paying the buyer agency fee. But for the most part, the seller does pay the commission. Potential buyers should also keep in mind that a listing agent, the agent that represents the seller, they protect the interests of the seller. And what they do is they will make the commission off of both sides of the sale from the seller side and the sale from the buyer side. But they are representing the seller if they are the listing agent. So you're not saving money if you use the listing agent, but your interests may not be protected as well either. Remember that a house that you purchase involves a contract. That's our second thing to know. Contracts look pretty standard, but there are parts in them that can be negotiated. You need to use a knowledgeable real estate agent. For example, if you want more time to review your inspection, or you want to waive a radon test, or you want to make a purchase subject to mortgage approval, you can make those things all part of the deal. That's where your realtor will be able to assist you. Number 3, don't necessarily buy for the life you have today. Chances are that buying a home is going to be one of your biggest financial commitments. And you need to think about your long-term plans. 1, are you planning on staying at your current job? Are you getting married? Are you going to have kids? Depending on the market and the terms of your mortgage, you may not actually pay down any real equity for between 5 and 7 years. If you aren't sure that your house will be the house for you in a few years, you may want to keep looking. Number 4, think about the commitments. Now, I'm not talking about your mortgage commitment. When you get married, the laws of your state generally determine how your assets are treated and ultimately how they are distributed at divorce. The same rules don't necessarily apply when you're not married. That means that you need to think long term. When you buy a house with a significant other who is not your spouse, make sure you have an exit plan in place if things don't go the way you hope. It's a good idea to have an agreement in place with respect to title, mortgage payments and liability, repairs, and things like that. It's best just to have it in writing, and I would recommend that the parties, both people, have a lawyer assist them in drawing up a contract with regard to that. Number 5, look beyond paint. It's always great to see that freshly painted inside house, and it's staged in all the new modern stuff. But those are cosmetics. Take and look for things beyond the paint. For example, the kitchen and bathrooms. They can be very expensive to upgrade. People tend to focus on the cost of cabinets, appliances, and counters, but sometimes forget about the cost of labor, which can double to triple the cost for the project. That does not mean you should give up on a home that needs significant fixings, but you should factor in those costs when determining whether you can afford to purchase that home. Number 6, buy the house you know that you can afford. This can be different from the price that your mortgage company believes you can afford. Some lenders suggest that you can afford mortgage payments totaling about 1/3 of your gross income, but others suggest closer to 28% for housing-related costs. Now that's including your mortgage, your insurance, and taxes. These are There are a number of factors, including your projected income, interest rates, type of mortgage, and the market. Ask your mortgage broker to please explain it. And remember, you need a down payment for your mortgage too. The lender doesn't give you 100% unless you're in a special government program or a VA loan program. Otherwise, they usually require anywhere from 3 to 3.5% down, up to 20% down if you want to avoid private mortgage insurance. Number 7, don't fixate on the purchase price. We all do that. The purchase price is just one piece of owning a house. Be sure to consider all the costs associated with your potential new home. That includes the cost of insurance, homeowners association fees, if there are any, real estate taxes. Depending upon where you live, these can add up quite quickly. And it's not just home improvements that can cost money. Maintenance costs dollars. It's a good idea to ask the questions, what is the cost to upkeep the swimming pool? You've got a fancy heating system. What's that cost? How do I maintain the outbuildings, and is there a cost for that? Make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Compare a condo with a condo, a single family home with a single family home. Compare taxes. Compare insurance, but compare apples to apples. Also, number 8, consider your student loan debt. Student debt isn't merely an annoyance. It's treated like real debt. FHA guidelines in the 2015 negatively affects many first-time home buyers with student loan debt. For the purposes of determining purchasing power, a borrower is charged with 2% of the outstanding balance of the student loan, regardless of deferment status, in a non-FHA or conventional loan. In an FHA loan. Conventional loan charges 1% of the outstanding balance. Enrolling in a properly documented income-based repayment plan so you have the documents that your lender will need to properly assess your liability is very important. Number 9, don't get carried away with the home mortgage interest deduction. Did you know that only about 1/3 of all taxpayers in our country claim that itemized deduction? You have to file a Schedule A. Many of us do not do that. So don't dwell on getting that home mortgage interest deduction on your taxes. And 10, you don't have to buy a house. There's no rule that says that you have to buy a house by the age of 35. It's a big decision buying a home, and you want it to be a good, sound financial investment for you. It's not always for everyone. There's a lot to consider, including the housing market, interest rates, timing, and your future plans. You might want to be more flexible or mobile, or your career and family plans may fluctuate. If you're not sure about the neighborhood, maybe you should consider renting in that neighborhood. Do a test drive of the neighborhood. I hope these tips are helpful to you. As always, I'm here to answer any questions for you. My cell phone number is 920-585-5400, or you can email or text me any of your questions. Also, if you're looking to buy or sell, I'm here to assist you with that as well. I do offer a free market analysis of your home when you're selling, and I do have a great marketing plan that'll get the job done. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can see all my past videos. Thank you so much for watching.